We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Kyle Rittenhouse has been found not guilty on all counts in the fatal shooting of 2 men and the wounding of a third during protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin last year. Now, in a bit here, I'll get to an expert analysis from a Harvard-educated lawyer, someone that I think has had the most rational analysis of this case so far. But first here, let's go over the charges and the verdicts. So, first-degree intentional homicide, not guilty. Attempted first-degree intentional homicide, not guilty. First-degree reckless homicide, not guilty. First-degree recklessly endangering safety, not guilty. And first-degree recklessly endangering safety, not guilty. Now, I went over a lot more detail in my previous video on this. I'll link to that above and below the video on YouTube. But first, let's put aside the homicide charges for a second. I just want to look at these last two. Recklessly endangering safety. He shot and killed 2 people, shot a third, in the middle of a crowd. How is that not, at the very least, recklessly endangering safety? You have here an active shooter. At the very least, the last 2 were trying to stop him. People trying to stop an active shooter, and they were killed. And he gets away with it under the guise of self-defense. So, if you try and stop an active shooter and you're murdered, your killer can get away by claiming self-defense. That's crazy to me. Now, this not guilty verdict was predicted by a lot of people, including who I'm going to reference here in a second, because they understood. They knew what was going on. They saw how the judge was approaching this case, more on that in a minute, but also the fact that he's a white kid, and historically, the way this system works, people like this often get away with literal murder, as he did here. So it's not surprising he got off, considering what happened. At the same time, it is one hell of a precedent to say that people trying to stop someone that they view as dangerous, who just shot somebody, they're trying to stop that person, that person can continue shooting people and claim self-defense. Now, more here from, so this is Ali Mistal. He's a Harvard-educated lawyer and the justice correspondent for The Nation. I'll link to his piece below the video on YouTube as well. It is a fantastic read, but I'll just read a couple of paragraphs here. He says, the verdict is not surprising if you are familiar with how the criminal justice system works for white people. Wisconsin Judge Bruce Schroeder, who presided over the Rittenhouse trial, consistently made rulings in the best interest of the white gunman. He refused to punish Rittenhouse for violating the terms of his bail, excluded evidence of Rittenhouse's behavior before and after the shooting that spoke to his intent and lack of remorse, allowed the defense to mischaracterize the people Rittenhouse killed as rioters, yelled at prosecutors in front of the jury, dismissed an illegal gun charge against the gunman, and had the jury clap for one of Rittenhouse's expert witnesses. We know that the system does not work this way for black people. It is difficult to even imagine a similar set of circumstances for a black defendant. Nobody credibly thinks that a black teenager who got an illegal gun and then crossed state lines to shoot up a MAGA protest would be greeted by a sympathetic black judge in front of a predominantly black jury, be lauded by prominent black leaders, enjoy favorable media coverage, and then walk free. Nobody credible thinks that. In point of fact, here is the full and complete list of black teenagers who have killed 2 people at a MAGA rally to defend their community. ... Because of course those people don't exist. I don't care where you are politically. I don't care what your thoughts are about this case. You know this paragraph is 100% correct. But that's the system. And Eli Mistal here continues on Twitter saying, to be clear, I don't blame the jury for this verdict. The judge didn't allow the prosecution to put on their best case, and the prosecution was average at best. Judge wanted an acquittal, and he got one. Jury did what they were told to do. Yeah. It's still amazing to me that Rittenhouse was viewed as the one that was in danger. He was the one doing the self-defense, not the people trying to stop him, not the people who witnessed him murder somebody who was unarmed. No, he was the one who was the victim here. Absolutely wild. Now, a couple last things here. This from Mediaite, quote, we are heartbroken and angry that Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted in his criminal trial for the murder of our son Anthony Huber, said Huber's parents, Karen Bloom and John Huber. Quote, there was no justice today for Anthony or for Mr. Rittenhouse's other victims, Joseph Rosenbaum and Gage Grosskreutz. Yeah. Last thing here. Let's end on some satire from The Onion. Kyle Rittenhouse sentenced to 45 years of CPAC appearances. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad, because already Kyle Rittenhouse has been offered an internship from two prominent Republican lawmakers. In fact, I have the headlines right here. First, Matt Gaetz says he's open to hiring Kyle Rittenhouse as an intern. And Madison Cawthorn here offers Rittenhouse an internship. What do you say with this insanity? I really don't know how to absorb this. I'll be honest with you. It's seeing what went on, seeing what happened, understanding what Rittenhouse did. To have prominent Republican lawmakers offer him an internship. Now, to be fair, if you think about it, it's really not surprising. That's what, these people are in the mud. They don't give a shit. But it's just so despicable. It's, again, imagine the roles were reversed. Rittenhouse was black. He killed two people at a MAGA rally, two Trump supporters. And AOC is offering him an internship. Imagine what the response would be. It's completely insane.